Hello, it is me. Who talks like that? Cut. Hello. Cut. Hello. We are continuing with Exodus 26, the Tabernacle. God is continuing to tell Moses how to make these things. The tabernacle is it's like a temple, but a temple is made of like rocks, like large bricks, stones mortared together. But a tabernacle is like a tent. It's movable. It's a movable temple made of a lot of curtains. Make the tabernacle with 10 curtains of finely twisted linen. You could actually read a lot of this yourself, but let me just try to paraphrase it, because after Exodus is Leviticus and Deuteronomy and Numbers. You probably quite soon you'll be sleeping with your eyes open. So hard. Alright, I don't want to just chop all of this up. Okay, all the curtains are to be the same size, 28 cubits long, for a certain width. Join 5 of the curtains together. Do the same with the other 5. So 10 curtains. Make loops of blue material along the edge of the end curtain in one set. And do the same with the end curtain in the other set. Make 50 loops on one curtain and 50 loops on the end curtain of the other set, with the loops opposite each other. Then make 50 gold clasps and use them to fasten the curtains together, so that the tabernacle is a unit. So there's 10 curtains and 50 loops. And 50 clasps. Make curtains of goat hair for the tent over the tabernacle. 11 of them. They're supposed to be the same size, 30 cubits long, 4 cubits wide. Join 5 curtains together into one set and the other 6 into another set. Fold the 6th curtain double at the front of the tent. Make 50 loops along the edge of the end curtain in one set, and also along the edge of the end curtain in the other set. Then make 50 bronze clasps and put them in the loops to fasten the tent together as a unit. As for the additional length of the tent curtains, the half curtain that is left over is to hang down at the rear of the tabernacle. The tent curtains will be a cubit longer on both sides. What is left will hang over the sides of the tabernacle so as to cover it. Make for the tent a covering of ram skins dyed red, and over that a covering of the other durable leather. Make upright frames of acacia wood for the tabernacle. Each frame is to be 10 cubits long and a cubit and a half wide, with 2 projections set parallel to each other. Make all the frames of the tabernacle in this way. Make 20 frames for the south side of the tabernacle, and make 40 silver bases to go under them. 2 bases for each frame, 1 under each projection. For the other side, the north side of the tabernacle, make 20 frames and 40 silver bases, 2 under each frame. Make 6 frames for the far end, that is, the west end of the tabernacle, and make 2 frames for the corner at the far end. At these 2 corners they must be double, from the bottom all the way to the top, and fitted into a single ring. Both shall be like that. So there will be 8 frames and 16 silver bases, 2 under each frame. Also make crossbars of acacia wood, 5 for the frames on one side of the tabernacle, 5 for those on the other side, and 5 for the frames on the west, at the far end of the tabernacle. The center crossbar is to extend from end to end at the middle of the frames. Overlay the frames with gold and make gold rings to hold the crossbars. Also overlay the crossbars with gold. Set up the tabernacle according to the plan shown you on the mountain. Make a curtain of blue, purple, scarlet yarn. People know what yarn is. And finally twisted linen with cherubim woven into it by a skilled worker. Hang it with gold hooks on 4 posts of acacia wood overlaid with gold and standing on 4 silver bases. Hang the curtain from the clasp and place the ark of the covenant law behind the curtain. The curtain will separate separate the holy place from the most holy place. Put the atonement cover on the ark of the covenant law in the most holy place. Place the table outside the curtain on the north side of the tabernacle, and put the lampstand opposite it on the south side. For the entrance to the tent, make a curtain of blue, purple, and scarlet yarn, and finely twisted linen, the work of an embroiderer. Make gold hooks for this curtain, and 5 posts of acacia wood overlaid with gold, and cast 5 bronze bases for them. Let's go to Exodus 27. Exodus 27, we're talking about the altar, what the altar of burnt offering looked like. Build an altar of acacia wood, 3 cubits high. 3 cubits high is pretty high. Not, high. 4.5 feet. So this altar, 4.5 feet high. It's almost as tall as a person. It is to be square, 5 cubits long. So it's even wider than 4.5. I mean, like, an altar is like a table, but, they're sacrificing, they're burning things on it to God. So it's 4.5 feet high, and then it has a square top, where they place the sacrifices and burn them. And it's maybe like 6 feet by 6 feet. Maybe more. 3, almost double. It could be like 4, it could be 8 feet by 8 feet. Make a horn at each of the 4 corners. Horns, 4 corners. So that the horns and the altar are of one piece. And overlay the altar with bronze. So it's a bronze altar. Make all its utensils of bronze, its pots to remove ashes, its shovels, sprinkling bowls, meat forks, and fire pans. Make a grating for it, a bronze network, and make a bronze ring at each of the 4 corners of the network. Put it under the ledge of the altar. so that it is halfway up the altar. It's fancy. Make poles of acacia wood for the altar and overlay them with bronze. The poles are to be inserted into the rings, so they will be on two sides of the altar when it is carried. Make the altar hollow out of boards. It is to be made just as you were shown on the mountain. The courtyard. This next passage is titled the courtyard. Make a courtyard for the tabernacle. The south side shall be 100 cubits long. Okay, so let me explain. Remember, the main thing is the container for the Ten Commandments. It's this ark. So they're going to put it into this tent. It's like a tabernacle. It's like a big tent with a tent on top of it, a double tent. But now they're going to make a courtyard around the entire thing. You know what I mean? Let's see. See, here's the ark, and they're going to put a double tent on top of it, and then they're just going to make, a courtyard around it. A courtyard, like walls around it. So the south side shall be 100 cubits long, and is to have curtains of finely twisted linen, with 20 posts and 20 bronze bases, and with silver hooks and bands on the posts. The north side shall also be 100 cubits long, and is to have curtains with 20 posts and 20 bronze bases, and with silver hooks and bands on the posts. The west end of the courtyard shall be 50 cubits wide, and have curtains with 10 posts and 10 bases on the east end, toward the sunrise. The courtyard shall also be 50 cubits wide. Curtains 50 cubits long are to be on one side of the entrance, with 3 posts and 3 bases, and curtains 15 cubits long are to be on the other side, with 3 posts and 3 bases. Okay, for the entrance to the courtyard, provide a curtain 20 cubits long. So they're talking about 50 cubits, 100 cubits. So the entrance is smaller, I think that it is longer than it is wide, and then the entrance is narrower. So for the entrance, make the curtains out of, again, blue, purple, and scarlet yarn with finely twisted linen, with 4 posts and 4 bases, silver bands and hooks, bronze bases. The courtyard shall be 100 cubits long, 50 cubits wide, with curtains of finely twisted linen, 5 cubits high, with bronze bases. All the other articles used in the service of the tabernacle, whatever their function, including all the tent pegs for it, and those for the courtyard, are to be of bronze. Oil for the lampstand. Command the Israelites to bring you clear oil of pressed olives for the light, so that the lamps may be kept burning in the tent of meeting outside the curtain that shields the ark of the covenant law. So remember, the tabernacle is like a double tent. It's a big tent with a tent top, and then inside there's like an inner area behind the curtain, and the outer area inside the tabernacle is called the tent of meeting. So it looks like a double tent from the outside, and then inside there's double tent. It's 2 double tent. I think so. I think that there's like a, they say it's a curtain, but it's kind of like a tent. It might have been more like a more tenty looking, So there's like a tent with the ark in it, and then a tent of meeting, and then, there's some kind of tent like this, and then remember they put 2 layers on top. Tent. 2 double tent. Aaron. So remember, the tent of meeting is in the tabernacle. And there is a inner area that is like, it's called behind the curtain. And that's where that ark, that container for the 10 Commandments, it's in there. Aaron and his sons are to keep the lamps burning. Remember, if you watched the earlier video, God wanted this special lampstand to be made. So they need oil for it. They want that lampstand with lamps. They're like lanterns, right? But they want those lamps to be burning, little flames on them, from evening till morning. This is to be a lasting ordinance among the Israelites for the generations to come. Thank you for listening to me. Remember, keep God first and take you places. I would like to review. I taught something called a barakat. It is a blessing, Jewish blessing. One day while I was living in a city, a young Jewish lady said, listen to me. And she taught me this barakat. It's the one you say before you wash your hands. Barakat are, because usually we worship God and we thank God, but it sounds like I want to bless your heart, God. Bless your heart is, I want to be pleasing to you, I don't know. Here it goes. She taught it to me. It's not that easy to remember. It goes, well, the English is, blessed are you, Lord our God, ruler of the universes, or king of the universes, who commands us to wash our hands, who commands us, who taught us the washing of the hands. It goes, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidishanu b'mitzvotav vetzivanu al netilat yadayim. Amen. So it goes, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidishanu b'mitzvotav vetzivanu al netilat yadayim. Amen. Right? Maybe. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidishanu b'mitzvotav vetzivanu al netilat yadayim. Amen. It's not easy to remember. Thank you for listening. Have a great day.